There are 3 entities who have agreed and signed the resolution to opt into the VRS program. Outside of that, today, nobody else has opted into the VRS program. We have about 180 groups that have opted out and signed the resolution to move toward the standard product, and the remaining entities are in limbo. They're just waiting for their board meetings to arise. We feel that most of them will move into the standard product.
Motion to that effect will be in order.
So move. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thank you again, Ms. Grasso.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. Mr. Fincham, I'm gonna ask you to wait, or else we'll all be at 7:30. So, kind of worked out either way. The recreation, what's the name of it?
The Caroline County Education, Recreation, and Wellness Foundation.
Okay. Who's going to speak on behalf of the foundation? Education, recreation, and wellness.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, although I take it in this case you're Mr. Stork.
That's right, I am. Members of the board, staff, thank you. And first of all, my name is David Stork. I'm a resident of the Bowling Green District, and I'm here tonight as a citizen, taxpayer, and business person in the county. Thank you. First of all, let me apologize if there was a procedural error in our group speaking tonight. I apologize for that, and I appreciate
Not yours, all ours.
Appreciate you accommodating us. So tonight I'm here and going to speak, and hopefully some other members of the foundation will also speak. But although our paperwork has not been completed with State Corporation Commission and our 501c3 status is not complete, and then we haven't finalized our slate of officers, we do have pretty good attendance from our volunteer board, and I'd like to recognize our board, and I'll just read their names. Agreeing to serve on this foundation board is Ms. Linda Beal, myself, L.J. Moyer, Mike Manns, Lloyd Fox, Tim Thompson, Maxie Roselle, Lit Thompson, and Cleo Coleman. So we have a great representation from around the county. And basically, I'm here to hopefully provide some good news and some positive things that are going on in our county. And we do have a lot of good, positive things going on in our county. Back in June, we had our first organizational meeting. I think some others had met prior to that. But the Caroline County Foundation for Education, Recreation, and Wellness is to promote a healthy lifestyle by helping to support education, recreation activities, and wellness opportunities for all of Caroline County. The foundation fulfills its mission by encouraging and securing funding and support for initiatives here in the county. You know, we all struggle with funding and things that we'd like to have, but we maybe can't afford. You all battle with budgets, and we all do in our businesses and our homes. Unfortunately, we're all in different aspects in our lives. We would like things here in Caroline, amenities that we possibly don't have that other localities have, but maybe we can't at this time afford. So this foundation board has volunteered its time to tackle several issues. Obviously, one of the first things that this foundation board is going to assist the county with is the funding and the fundraising for our YMCA. I think all would agree that a YMCA is a wonderful addition to any county. I know of residents in the town of Bowling Green that currently go to Ashland or other localities to take advantages of other YMCAs. Your board voted a while back to fund and build a YMCA. I went over there the other day for the first time. I was very pleased to see that it's nearly completed, and it will be a nice addition to Caroline County, not just to Ladysmith, but to Bowling Green, to Sparta, to Caroline County. Fundraising is a difficult thing, but this foundation board is excited about taking on the task, beginning the process of soliciting fundraising activities to begin with for RY, and then to move on to other projects, both simultaneously and as projects are completed, our group will hopefully stay together. This group brings, the reason I agreed to serve on this foundation when asked was when I heard the list of other members. This group presents a unique opportunity to reach out into our community and our greater community to solicit fundraising efforts for the things that we would like to have in this county, but we can't burden our taxpayers with. Obviously, we are committed from the start to help relieve the burden of the funding of the YMCA. And so as soon as we're able to have our tax exempt status and begin, we're going to have at it. So with that, I'd like to ask, are there any other members of the foundation that would like to speak? We don't have a president yet. We have we have some officers, but we don't have a president yet. Is there anyone else that would like to speak? Or if not, we appreciate your time. We'll keep you posted as things move on, and we look forward to working on behalf of you all and our citizens. Thank you.
Mrs. Thorpe, before you go, just let me double check and make sure nobody has a question. No questions?
I got a question.
Mr. Black?
You know, as you can tell by Mr. Seeley's article, the YMCA it's pushed a button with some people as far as, you know, how it's being paid for. Once again, I'll reiterate, a YMCA is an absolutely wonderful thing. No question about it. You will not get an argument from me. I'm sure Mr. Seeley or anyone else in the county, the YMCA is a good thing. The question that we have is where the money is coming from. Okay? You're the first foundation that I've heard of that's actually physically raising money for the YMCA. So my question is, I guess the question is, are you raising money for capital, or are you raising money for operations dealing with the YMCA?
And you can ask other members of the board, and certainly I'm speaking on behalf of myself. My interpretation of my role on this foundation is raising money so that the burden does not fall on the taxpayer for the money that you all granted to YMCA. And so my purpose is taking care of that initial, whatever the millions were that you all granted to build the YMCA. My reason for being on this foundation is to make sure that tax burden does not fall on the citizens. And, you know, in other capital campaigns and other localities, you know, that's typically how things are done. Donations are given. Now, I don't know, you know, as far as I intend to contribute to this foundation, and I intend to do it when I can get a tax benefit for doing it. And as soon as the foundation is up and running, I'll do so, like a lot of people I'm hopeful will do. So, but it may be others on the foundation would be better to answer that personally, but that's my interpretation of the foundation.
So I'm just kind of curious. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. So you guys raise $1 million because it's called what's the name of it again? It's the Education or Recreation, Education, and...
It's the Caroline County Foundation for Education, Recreation, and Wellness.
Okay, so wouldn't that be funding like programs? I mean, I'm just thinking about the name of it. Wouldn't that be funding programs for after-school activities? I mean, is money going to be going to like the Parks and Recreation? Are you guys going to be having your own programs? I mean, because that to me is an operating cost. I mean, the name of it to me signifies that I'm paying for an operating cost to help kids in the county, which is a wonderful thing. Okay, so is that...
The name, don't let the name fool you. We tried to be all-inclusive on several areas because obviously, hopefully when this capital campaign is kicked off and the first item obviously is the why, there's other areas of the county, whether it be playgrounds or things that for the school system, other areas that our county can't rely on our county government or our taxpayers to fund, that this foundation can also step forward and raise money for. And not just... that's why we used education, recreation, and wellness. Say, for instance, a local school doesn't have enough money for a playground or walking trails or a park in other areas of the county.
Do you guys have a particular goal in mind? Like a lot of times you see like United Way and they've got the little thermometer. It says, hey, our goal is we got to get to, you know, this much money to... Do you guys have a goal as far as that $5 million is concerned? Like our goal is to raise $1 million. We're going to raise $1 million for the YMCA. Is there any sort of capital goal that's in mind for that?
I don't know that we've discussed any Not at this point, no.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Sealy?
I'll wait for the YMCA.
Underwood? No question.
No, I'd just like to say, Mr. Stork and the other members, I think it's a great thing. Certainly, I'm willing to do all I can to support you and certainly look forward to helping you any way I can. I think it's a good thing. I think I know the YMCA is a good thing. How we get there, we all may differ on how to get there, but I believe that if we can alleviate money coming out of the pockets of taxpayers, because that was what I voted on, the fact that we would work diligently to make sure that our taxpayer dollars weren't spent on the YMCA. So I'm willing to do what's necessary to make sure that comes to fruition. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bakers?
I just want to say that I certainly thank the foundation board members in stepping up to the plate and trying to do what is best for the citizens of this county. It is the first foundation that I know about of this magnitude in Caroline County, but it's not the first time a foundation such as this has been created in other localities. Greene County has a foundation. I'm not sure whether it's Chesterfield or Henrico, but there are other counties that have foundations like this that are established in order to provide amenities, as was mentioned earlier, for the county. And I just want to say, I certainly appreciate what you're doing, and I appreciate the willingness to step up and make things happen.
Yes, I too would like to congratulate this group and say thank you for being here. I've sat on this board now for 18 years, and I think this is the first time I've had the pleasure of having a group come to say we want to raise funds. Most groups come asking for funds. So I think the fact that you are willing to do this speaks to the kind of individuals that you are. And I happen to know you personally, so I know that this is a great organization, and I have no doubt that you will do a splendid job. And as far as I'm concerned, as one board member, if I can assist you in any way, I will be glad to do whatever I can do. Thank you.
Mr. Stork, thank you, and the rest, ladies and gentlemen, we do appreciate it. We look forward to hearing from you again.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to reiterate, there's nothing, this is not a political group. I don't recall any of us having a public opinion when you all decided to do the YMCA. We're not here today discussing whether we should build it. It's almost open and ready. A YMCA in a county, we realize, is a good selling point. It makes people want to live here. It improves our lives. So our whole focus is to not have it be a tax burden on our citizens, and then to keep moving and do other positive things that you guys can't do sometimes. You can't raise money as effectively as an independent foundation. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Reverend Clinkscales, are you going to represent the Sunday School Union? Do you have a PowerPoint? You have a handout?
I did bring.
I have your PowerPoint if that's what you need.
I did not bring my laptop,
We have a laptop.
but
Okay.
I have some copies.
We're at your disposal. Reverend Clinkscales is representing the Caroline Sunday School Union, who, as most of us know, built this building and turned it over to the school board in the 60s, back in the time when I really had hair. So, and you currently have, this is the same thing. You currently have a display in the county. The purpose of this is to discuss the Sunday School Union's future displays and things that they would like to, I think your phrase was, take it to the next level.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, other members of the board, indeed it's a pleasure to be before you on tonight. I will say very quickly before I get into the presentation that Mr. Taylor, unlike the previous organization, we are asking for money.
You should have saved that for last.
I need to get
Tell us
that
how
out
good
the
it
way.
is first, and then after.
I'm not trying to slide it under the rug.
Okay.
I'm upfront.
But it's only a small amount of money.
It is a small amount, but a significant amount. As you have eloquently already stated, these are hallowed grounds and will forever be hallowed grounds for the African American community in all of Caroline County. This building represents the center of our community because the churches came together to build this building in which we stand tonight. So the rock out front, the 1903 to 1969 rock out front states that this is hallowed grounds. The name that's on the building, former Union High School, indicates clearly that these are hallowed grounds. The display casing with the pictures indicates that these are hallowed grounds. The trophy case at the end of the corridor represents that these are hallowed grounds. But what all of these items fail to do is tell the whole story of Union High School. Our proposal, the Sunday School Union, is proposing that we expand and to be not only to display pictures, but to put names with the pictures and to put stories behind those pictures so that the generations to come will know the history of Union High School and also know the hallowed grounds in which they enter into this building. So it is our proposal that you have before you, and I believe that was emailed to you as well, indicates our desire to, as you said, take it to the next level, to make it a presentation that is pleasing to the eye and one that will tell the full story of Union High School forever and forever. As long as this building stands, our story will forever live.
Now, you came here by yourself to tell us that, or?
I did not. There's a crowd of people behind me that's in support.
Could they stand or something?
If these represents members of the Sunday School Union, former graduates of Union High School, principals, teachers of Union High School have all come to show their support on tonight.
Anything else you would like to add?
And as I started, I will conclude that we are asking for some money. The total project is estimated at $75,000, and that is the top end. We're looking at about $68,000 to do the project, $75,000 for incidentals, miscellaneous. Most of the money the Sunday School Union currently have in assets and doing various fundraising efforts to raise the capital for the project. We are asking that not only do we expand the wall where we currently have the picture gallery and the trophy casing, but we're also asking and presenting that we would like to extend it down the corridor towards the library so that we'd have that one wall that we currently have, but we had extended around the corner leading to the library so that we would be able to share the full story of Union High School. The concept behind it is that we would use large panels that would go on the wall. There's very little construction that will be involved. There will be some small display casing that will go against the wall, but other than that, there's no real physical construction for this project.
Okay. Questions? I'm trying to work out with Mr. Parton this so everybody can see
I apologize.
this one. No, it's not your fault. Do we have a computer now? Okay. Oh, okay. I was just hoping we have a computer. I just put my email on a thumb drive. He could put it in the computer so they could see it. I mean, I'm sure we'll get pictures.
I didn't know that you were that computer savvy.
Excuse me?
I didn't know you were that computer savvy. I'm impressed.
I'm probably one of the few people in this room that can write in binary. That's how much of a nerd I am. So.
That would be one, not only advertised on the radio for several weeks, but we basically, what they call, did a homepage takeover. If you went on their website, everything on their website was about Union High School.
Perfect. Okay, so you're in the process of raising $75,000. Would
No.
you like it if the board maybe reserved, because they're asking for $10,000 from the board. I don't know if the board would like to reserve $10,000 from the tourism fund or something like that to help this project. As you get the money, we will. As you get the money, then that maybe we'll have $10,000 from whatever fund, the balance or tourism or something like that. Is that what the board would like to do?
Absolutely, Mr. Chairman, I think,
Would you like to make that in a motion, just to make sure it's official?
I would like to make a motion that we reserve $10,000 for the Caroline County
Sunday School Union
Sunday School Union
project. Was there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favors or discussion?
Just a brief discussion, Mr. Chairman. This is probably one of the few African-American museums in the state that would be here in a facility that was actually, as again, used as a school that was donated. And I think that it is a tourism attraction that we need to then market as well, since it's in a facility that is open to the public. So I think from that perspective, looking at tourism dollars, even if we didn't, how long will this project take?
18 months?
18 to 24 months.
So we could do this in a phased approach to actually get you the $10,000.
Yes.
Because I do believe that this is something that could be a destination site and be an attraction, along with the other capabilities we have in the county, particularly in Bowling Green with museums. So I do see that this could be a tourism destination, and we should look at it as such.
Okay. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. That motion carries unanimously.
Thank you very
And
much.
we will have that funding reserved within the next 18 to 24 months when you need it. Hopefully, you'll need it sooner rather than later.
We'll call you.
I'll answer the phone.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to allow applause. Took me a long time to not allow, but okay. All right, Mr. Fincham, we're going to make you wait until we come back from our break. It's 7:20-something-ish. We'll be back at 7:40. So we'll stand adjourned. We will reconvene the September 10th meeting of the Board of Supervisors. After consultation with Mr. Fincham, we're going to wait for stormwater management program for another meeting. We'll try to do that on the 24th, and we'll move forward from there. At this point, we have appointments. We had Building Code, Board of Appeals. I believe we had two. Three? I'm sorry, I'm slow.
One's in Madison, I don't have that ready tonight.
Okay, we had Madison, that is not ready. Port Royal, you ready, Mr. Taylor?
Yes, I can. But go to the next person because I didn't find his name.
Or you're the only one? So Reedy Church and Madison, we're going to move to the next meeting. They don't, we're going to try for the 24th. Mr. Taylor has an appointment,
Yeah.
actually a recommendation, because we make a recommendation to the judge.
Mr. Kenneth, I think it's pronounced Pogue, P-O-G-E. He lives in the Port Royal subdivision on the
Oh, you don't
north.
have to tell us exactly.
Portabago. Yeah, he lives in Portabago Bay.
Okay.
Okay. But anyway.
Mr.
I
Pogue,
can
is that your
give you
motion?
Yeah, that's my motion.
Motion made by Mr. Taylor, seconded by Mr. Akers, to present Mr. Pogue to the circuit judge for appointment, because all appointments there are clear to the judge. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. We're going to bring the other two back next week. The other one is the Planning Commission for Mattapanai, which expires on October 31st, and we'll have that sometime in October. Consent agenda. Is there any item we would like to have removed from the consent agenda, and the board is mindful that we added consent agenda for the sheriff's cars? Discussions?
Mr. Chairman?
Anything to pull?
Yeah, I do have something to pull. I would like to pull the revenue sharing, VDOT revenue sharing project, and some questions on that.
Agenda item D?
D, yes,
3D?
please. Yes.
Is there anything else anyone would like to pull?
Agenda item F.
Agenda item F is the sheriff's cars. Agenda item F, we're pulling. Motion for A, B. A is minutes, B is warrants, C is planning commission schedule, E is submission for violence against women grant. Motion to that effect will be in order.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Underwood, seconded by Mr. Taylor. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Agenda item D, Mr. Black.
Mr. Fincham, could you? I guess my question is about this revenue sharing project, the $700-something thousand. I'm still a little confused. Can you explain to me what exactly, because it says in here there's going to be a widening on the intersection of, Route 1 and 639. And I'm thinking when I'm on Route 1, 639, and I'm heading towards Lake Landor from 95, I got buildings right on top of me on either side. I mean, no joke. I mean, literally, you feel like you can shake hands with the people in either building. So what exactly is going to be happening with this road?
Okay. The majority of the improvements are actually on Route 639 from just east of the church to the intersection itself. At the intersection of Route 1 and 639, the lane configuration will be modified so that you have a through and right turn lane to go north on Route 1. You'll have an extended, dedicated left turn lane to go south on Route 1, as well as your eastbound through lane from the light back towards the interstate.
Okay, stop it. You're going to have, so if I'm heading east and I want to go on route, like if I'm at the light and I want to turn right or left, okay, at the light, there's going to be a dedicated left turn lane to go one south, and there's going to be a dedicated right lane to go one north?
Now, as you're going west on Route 639
west,
to
okay.
Route 1,
Okay.
you'll have a...
From the Landor side, basically?
No, going west towards Landor.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, okay.
As you're coming from the interstate, you'll have a reconstructed through and right turn lane. Okay, it'll be one lane. You can either go straight through towards Lake Landor or turn right and go north on Route 1.
Okay.
They will construct an extended left turn lane. You have a smaller left turn lane there now.
Right, okay.
They will extend that lane so that it's a dedicated left turn, and I believe that taper starts in proximity to the entrance to the Food Line Shopping Center. So they'll extend that lane and provide more stacking for your left turns. You'll also have a center left turn lane that can be used in either direction. So if you're going east towards 95, you can go to the center lane and make a left into the business park, or traffic coming west can turn into, there's a couple of little single-family dwellings there. Predominantly, I think you will have your traffic turning left to go into the business park, and then it tapers back in proximity to the church. You will also have a dedicated decel or right turn lane as you're going west towards Route 1 for right turn movements into the church, into the business park, and into the shopping center. So you'll have a dedicated decel or right turn lane along that entire section of road. The idea with those turn lanes is that you spoke to traffic congestion there along 639. A lot of times you'll have your through traffic that has to stop awaiting vehicles making a left turn into the Food Line Shopping Center or into the business park. You'll now have a dedicated lane for those individuals to go to that turn lane and allow your through traffic to continue unabated.
Okay. I guess we'll go back to the beginning question. So let's say let's say I'm at the stoplight on Route 1 and 639. I've just come off 95, and I'm not going towards Landor. I want to go north on Route 1, say towards Ladysmith Village or Spotsylvania, whatever. If I'm sitting at that light, there's the store right there that's got the, right now it's under, they got hit by the truck or whatever happened with that
Yes.
store right there on the corner. So you're saying that right there on that corner, we're going to have a right turn lane? Is there going to be
It'll be a through and a right turn lane. It's going to be one lane, so you'll still have both your through trips and your right turn movements having to utilize the same lane. One of the big backups we have is traffic that wants to go south on Route 1 towards Pendleton or Lake Caroline. That will be corrected with the extension of that left turn lane.
I got you. So the right lane is really not being touched then?
No, you're not adding another right turn lane.
Okay,
in
that's what I
addition.
was, all right, okay, thank you.
Satisfied?
I have one question, Mr. Chairman, on that.
On that same one?
Same one.
Mr. Seeley?
Mr. Fincham, how much will be left in the proffer fund after we're done with this project for roads?
Mrs. Hatcher?
Okay.
Mrs. Hatcher just stated, since the TV couldn't hear her, it's about $800,000 in the fund, and you'll have to give the exact number at a later point. So you'll have that at our next meeting, and we'll be... Okay, but let's make it a point to at least say something at our next meeting. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, so we're satisfied with item D? Item F, Mr. Seeley?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. We talked about during the budget process in cars and how we were going to allocate funds to the sheriff's office and they could buy vehicles. And I guess I'm curious if this is part of that process, and because it seemed to be an amount higher than we had talked about.
This is the money left over from the sheriff's budget
Okay?
that he's buying cars, plus about $10,000 or a little bit more than that out of his current budget that he's going to use for the purchase of cars. We authorized, as soon as Mrs. Hatcher got us the numbers of how much the sheriff had left over in his 13 budget last year, June 30th.
And I guess that's what I was curious about, since we hadn't seen that yet.
We got it. We actually got it a couple of meetings ago.
Okay, then I missed it.
We did.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We did. Did everybody, you saw it?
I'm sure it did.
Yeah, because we did approve it. I know he was like 160, the chief was like 60 or 70,000 under budget.
Well, I guess I'm
The fire chief.
confused because we talked about the electoral board, and that number wasn't solid when we did the voting machines.
Right.
And we said that all the numbers weren't really settled yet. That's why I guess I wasn't sure if we were done.
We were done, and it was done as part of the budget amendment, the purchase order
You're right.
rollovers,
Okay.
and the 3 reserves for the voting machines, the sheriff, and for the fire and rescue.
You are correct, I was wrong. Okay, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, and I guess we'll note, my question to Mr. Parton when we got this agenda item is, we shouldn't be spending $40,000 for equipment since we're getting new radios. Why are we buying radios and we're going to have new ones in 18 months? And the sheriff has informed us that the $40,000 on the second part of your PO is to remove radios, lights, and equipment from the existing cars and put those in the new cars.
Right.
And the sheriff has also assured us that that removal process will allow him to install the new radios when that system is ready in about 18 months. So that's kind of where we are with that.
Okay.
We still haven't found out the budget number from the schools, if they had any money left over. I guess we'll find that out later, or never. Okay. Mrs. Hatcher, could you at least ask for us, please? Just in case? if you could just ask for us, if there was any funds remaining in the school board budget at the end of
I've
the year?
already been told I can't get the number until after September 30th.
Okay. So we'll look for it October, whenever our meeting is in October.
If I can get the numbers from the school, because I have to get the payables and the receivables, so I don't know what they've got yet.
Okay. We'll work on that one. All right, motion to approve D and F.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Seeley, second by Mr. Underwood. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. The motion carries unanimously. The entire consent agenda has been approved. Public comments. At this point in time, we provide the opportunity for citizens to speak to the board on any matter that is obviously not a public hearing scheduled for today. So, excuse me, at this point in time, if there's any citizen who would like to speak for 3 minutes on any subject, feel free to do so. Mrs. Anderson, I take it that's you. Good to see you.
Mr. Thomas and Supervisors, from Western Carolina Division, Mary Anderson. I was very surprised and concerned when I read in the Freelance Star that Caroline County had signed an agreement with the YMCA to hold them harmless and no legal obligation to repay that $5 million. That they are not obligated. I mean, we graciously hope that they will, but legally they are not obligated. And I was not aware of that. The other thing I was surprised about is that proffers are not considered county money. Developers offer proffers to mitigate the impact on the county infrastructure, to offset the additional usage for roads, water, things like that. And so by any stretch of the definition, proffers are county money. I was really glad to hear from Mr. Stark about the foundation that they are beginning, and I'm very encouraged that will help. But as things stand now, basically, the county is providing its citizens a why, and we ought to be open about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Anderson. Is there anyone else who would like to speak regarding any matter?
Good evening. I wrote down what I had to say so I don't stutter for 3 minutes. Good evening, Mr. Taylor and fellow supervisors. My name is Mark Bassoon. I live at 109 Morgan Court in Bowling Green. I have just recently completed major renovations at my building that includes the following addresses: 101 North Main Street, 103 North Main Street, 103 Chase Street in the town of Bowling Green. Renovations included a new roof, new exterior power service, installation of 3 new HVAC units, new plumbing to include the addition of 2 new handicap bathrooms, and some other internal electrical needs to the building. I'd like to take this opportunity to publicly thank the Department of Planning and Community Development for all of their help and guidance throughout the renovation process. I would like to especially thank the following individuals for helping me throughout the entire process: Kevin Whiteman, John Snyder, Donald Robinson Jr., Patty Stroud, Angela Pitts, and Dana Palavani. I feel these folks well represent the Caroline County and their specific departments in which they work. I feel that it is not often enough that some good news and thoughts are brought before your board, so on behalf of Main Street Ventures and American All-Star Realty, I'd like to say thank you to those folks again and let you know how well they represent the county. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, before you go, my memory is not even what it used to be, but we had a discussion on Main Street about Caroline Pines. This is totally different than your
Completely.
public comment, but just in a brief capsule, the issue at Caroline Pines is, since you're a realtor, some of the people in Caroline Pines have not been made aware that their water either is not on the county system and they have to connect at whatever the fee is, or they just don't know about it during the process. So is that briefly what it is?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure I took this opportunity to say that and make sure that we get staff, Mr. Schiebel and Mr. Fincham and whoever, to at least somehow address that so all of the residents know that we may need a list of all of the homeowners from Caroline Pines, because I understand some of those are banks.
That's correct.
and not the person who got foreclosed or moved out
Or receive the letter.
or received the letter, right? So we've got a few people there. I think you said we lost about 10 sales in there?
In talking with some folks at the Public Utilities Department, again, very outstanding group, very helpful with everything. I found out painfully at a closing that the fee needed to be paid, which is fine, respect that, everything's good with that. But the problem that we saw was realtors coming in from outside are not aware that the folks that made the agreement for the monthly payments don't automatically transfer to the new buyer. Someone has to pay that balance in full, whether it's the $8,000 or the
$2,800.
$2,800. And it has to be paid by somebody. We understand that, but as realtors, if we disclose, or we don't know that we can't disclose that those fees can't transfer and they have to be paid in full, it poses a problem at closing, and someone's got to pay for it and come up with some extra bucks that they didn't know about at the beginning of the process. All I ask for is maybe some public awareness of what has to take place upon the sale of a house in Caroline Pines regarding the new connection fees that may not have been paid in full.
I forgot to tell you that. We did, okay.
And just to follow up on what you said, Mr. Chairman Floyd, I think when Caroline Pines, after doing some research on my own, sent out the letters to all the homeowners, again, some properties were foreclosed on, whether it been Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, VHDA, whoever, they did not get the letters. The homeowner that got foreclosed on got the letter, so in essence, no one got the letter. So when those houses sold in foreclosure, HUD, VHDA, Fannie Mae, well, we're not paying $8,000. We didn't know about this and this and that. It ends up getting paid by somebody, but I think in speaking with some staff, I think we lost 8 to 10 deals.
So we're going to ask Mr. Schiebel if you could take the point, since you're utilities, and ask the Caroline Pines Homeowners Association or whatever for a list of current homeowners, and then we'll try to send another letter blast out to all of those folks that haven't connected, and we can match that up with what they give us and the bills we send out to see who's who.
It's not just a matter of who's hadn't connected, because that's not that many. Part of the problem, and Ms. Schiebel and I have worked on this about sending letters out. Now, part of the problem is there are people that paid and got into an agreement with the county to pay their $2,800 over 5 years. They're ending up at a closing with the purchaser, not disclosing that needs to be paid off because it can't be transferred to the next person. So that's sort of our outreach that's got to happen.
Why can't it be transferred?
Because we can't push the lien forward. It's a lien we've got, an agreement we have with them that's non-transferable, so it's
But
paid
if we had an
off.
ordinance to do that, we could just say, if you've got the 5-year $2,800 number, you could pass that on to whoever owns the house, can't we?
You got to go through the lien process again for a new homeowner.
Okay, well, you guys figure it out, the lawyer, county attorney, and Mr. Schiebel. You guys figure it out and come back and tell us what's right.
But it's not just, I just wanted to clarify,
Right.
it's not just the people that aren't connected. It is the people that actually owe us and are paying us monthly.
Right.
They get to closing, the people buying the house don't realize, oh, I've got to pay off what's left on $2,800. The other issue is the ones in Fannie Mae or whatever got foreclosed. The banks, some of the banks knew and chose not to pay and get in an agreement and pay us the $20,000. They could have paid us the $2,800, didn't even have to get an agreement.
Right.
They just left it out there. Then they end up at closing with folks. Now it's $8,000. That ran
Right.
out in November last year, and there's an $8,000. There's no way to finance it. It's $8,000's got to be paid. So there's multiple issues, but we are working on trying to put it on our website. There's to do a mail-in to the ones that we know still have not connected to those banks, and then we're going to do some outreach to the folks in the community.
Yeah, if we could do that, I think it would help. We're losing residents moving in, which is taxpayers and, folks that'll be here, so.
And I think it'd be helpful for the outside agents that are listing properties and bringing buyers to Caroline Pines, someplace where they can go to see the protocol and criteria of what we need to do to inform the new buyer of what's going to take place. And in some cases, a lot of the sellers don't realize they can't transfer the deal they made. They're just getting out of it,
Okay, well, we're now all aware, and we're all going to get updates, so I appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Now, back to public comment. Is there anyone who'd like to speak about any matter that's not a public hearing tonight? Is there anyone else who'd like to speak regarding any matters not a public hearing tonight? Mr. Atwood?